Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of The Latest Thread. You may have noticed in the intro to the video that we're now kind of calling the show The Latest Thread Creative Spark. And the reason for that is this kind of new idea that we had. We thought it might be fun to change things up a little bit. It does get kind of hard to keep coming up with topics as we have been doing. And so we're going to do kind of a little thing where every episode, we'll present a prompt and it'll be a picture of something. Um, and then what we'll do, and we hope that you will do as well, is create a drawing of a quilting design or even stitch it out. We're actually going to stitch it out. And we'd love if you participate and do it. If you send us your pictures, we can share them on there. And it'll be really cool, I think, to
Mhm.
see, you know, how many cool designs and how different they are from one single photograph. Um, and we do have, we'll show you a couple examples, one anyway, um, of what I mean by that. So like this is just a picture, right? I think that if we all were to make a design based on this picture, they'd probably be all pretty different.
Yeah,
I'm guessing. I don't know.
most definitely. Yeah.
So it could be literal. Maybe you want to do the house. Ideally, you know, I don't know that we would want to quilt a house like this, but in my case, I looked at this and I just liked the shape of the roof kind of, and I thought, oh, that would make a cool design. So you can see in the next picture, kind of, it's not the house, but
Hmm.
I was able to take that curve kind of and make it fit into, I guess, kind of a grid space. And actually, I feel like now the design itself looks like water. It reminds me of like a wave
A
Mhm.
crest.
with swirly, so if you looked at that, I think, and you looked at the house, seeing them together, sure, okay, I can see where you got that. But it doesn't always have to be that way.
Hmm.
Like, uh, as another example, we went ahead and did 1 month so that you really can see exactly what each episode will be and
Hmm.
how it will work. So our prompt photo was, um,
You want me to
what
share that now?
yeah, sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's
I'm
as
keeping
bad
up.
as I can't remember what it was.
I'm keeping up.
There it is.
We good.
And so we did each, this is what will happen. We'll share a photo each month, and this is our example that we used this month. So we each looked at this picture and then we created a design. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what each of us did with these. And we did try to take a picture, like at least whether it's a rough sketch or what we marked something so that you can understand kind of what we started with.
Yeah, kind of like our little thought process in one or two photos.
Mhm.
Oh, I guess that was my thought process. Um, I wanted to capture, the corner elements of some of the, scrolly things in the ironwork. And so um, I wasn't sure where I was going with it, actually. It's hard, you think, and I'm an overthinker generally, and I didn't want to do that. So I knew I wanted to do the corners. I actually used one of our quilting stencils and drew the corners and the inside as well. So very basic. And there's the finished product. It's kind of hard to see. It'd be easier if we could see them side by side, but we'll work on that for the next episode. But you can see the scroll work, and it gets repeated in the center, and then it was just connected with straight lines.
Very nice.
But it would be
Nice.
cool to do something like that in a larger area, because where they connect and still do the corners like that, it would create some, secondary designs with the straight line. So there's some opportunities to either do some of those in a block or expand into a
Mm.
larger area.
That little shape, the little, basically a quarter circle, reminds me of Drunkard's Path.
Mhm.
Just that. So that's an idea for quilting for a Drunkard's
Yeah.
path,
Mhm.
or like a kite shape, or anything else that kind of opens up like that, like a clam or something. It's nice.
Yeah.
This one's mine, and I kind of the same. I wanted to do kind of that thing that was in the corners, the spokey looking thing. But then after I marked those in, I changed my mind and I realized that they could connect in the center somehow. And in the end, I like this way better because it's like, I don't know, more like what I like than like Victorian kind of. And I think I like the when you can, like when you look at something side by side and think, oh, you got this from that. What? It doesn't, I don't
Yeah.
think you did. You know what I mean? So I think
That's
it's really cool to see how different, different people interpret the same thing.
That's the best part of the inspiration. It's like you saw this and it took you from here to here. And that's the cool part, watching that happen.
Yeah, and that goes back to, it looks like Jody and I both used the same stencil to draw our foundation, and then she chose to use the markings on that circular stencil, to find her connection points. So it just shows you that it's super versatile.
Okay, this is mine. And this, I just printed out the picture. And then I kind of was playing with different things that I saw in it. There on the bottom, I'm looking at those corner pieces and how they have that kind of a little fan design.
Mm-hmm.
And just trying to make it, I was thinking, kind of an all over edge to edge kind of design from that. So I was doodling with different things. And then the top, also the same kind of thought process. I saw those little half, like almost clamshell looking on the bottom there, and they each had a little kind of a feathery flower in them.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was just playing with that. And then the actual design that I came up with was, here, I drew it out. I was using a grid, a 2-inch grid,
Mm-hmm.
because in that design, there was also some wreaths in the scroll work there that had some leaves. So I used the fan, because I liked it, and then the leaves to make this kind of flowing kind of a grid work kind of design.
I
And
like
so
it.
then when I quilted it out, I used a 2-inch grid stencil, and there you go.
That's pretty.
Very
I love it.
creative.
It would be a nice edge to edge for sure.
Yeah, it would
Absolutely.
be.
Yep. Very cool.
Really pretty.
The lines on the stencil are really helpful too, because there's some dots there
Mm-hmm.
to make that curved line. There's some dots, and I just kind of went through that to make that curved line go from the top to the bottom. So the stencil's really helpful.
Oh, this one is mine. I'm like, oh, look at that. They used the same picture I did. So this one's mine, and I just like the circles with the line going through it, and I wanted it to kind of be like real simple. Like I don't know how to, I'm lazy. If you don't know that already, I'm lazy, and I wanted it to be simple. So I just did lines and just threw random circles in, kind of fill in the space with bigger circle or smaller circle, and totally random. And then I just did that as on the next one is the quilting of it. Super simple. I did use a little circle ruler to try and get them somewhat circular, but even then, they're not perfect.
You know, you could do that with so many different shapes. Like now you have inspiration for a whole new group of designs that you could use
Yeah.
and just put different shapes in there instead of circles.
Or like even go in and I wanted to, but I said, no, don't get too off course. But like go in and like every other row, just do a fill
Mhm.
around those so that even more texture.
Or you
Yeah.
could even, if you wanted more quilting, aside from the fill, you could take your straight ruler after you did this and then connect,
Mhm.
and so
Right.
you have zigzaggy line, in the background. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. You look at something like that and you think, oh, okay, you can do all this still.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Or
Mhm.
even just echoing like down the edge of the line, around the circle, down the line. That would even took
Yeah.
up more of that background. Mhm.
Yeah,
Right.
because they're offset, you should probably be able to do with that without bumping into the other
Yeah.
Right.
line.
That would add a lot of really nice texture too. Really nice.
Ooh. Are you
Really
gonna
nice.
go back and stitch some more on that now?
No, this is done. It's done. If I use that design, I might add more to it, but this piece is done.
Mhm. Awesome. Okay, that is my little drawing there. And I did take most of the elements from inspiration from the original picture. That kind of loop, not really a feather, but it's more just like a petal in the center just to make a flower. And if we scroll really far into that quarter circle drunkard's path, there is actually a little row of pearls inside there. And so I decided to put that in. And there was lots of arcs in the picture, so I just framed it with some arcs and put some rays around it with a stencil to just kind of frame it out.
Mhm.
And there's my little stitch out.
Nice.
Cute. It's like a
Yeah.
medallion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Kind
it
of.
is. It's
Yeah, I
really,
guess
that's
so.
nice.
Yeah, a cute little block. Or I mean, you could take without the rays on the outside, you could take that center design and just kind of plop it randomly around and do it in different sizes on big open spaces.
Mhm.
Be kind of fun. And what I like about this process is that it reminds me of when you listen to music, and like the original artist will have written a song that it means something to them, right? Like they tell a story or it means something about their life, and then every single person that listens to that song feels differently about it and relates it to themselves in a totally different way. And that's what I feel like this process does, is that we have that whatever it is that kind of sparks that emotion within us that sends us in a direction, is different for each of us. So
Mhm.
none of them are wrong or better than the other. They're all meaningful or unique, right?
Mhm.
Love that. Those are our pictures. Oops. That's all. That was fast.
It was fast. So one other thing too that we probably should mention is that you don't have to be a hand-guided quilter to participate in the challenge. Of course, if you have an Elevate or a Statler, either way you use Creative Studio, why not use that picture to create a new digital pattern, or maybe you're not a quilter at all. You could
Maybe
draw
you're a
a pattern. You
drawer.
could paint something inspired by it. Seriously, it doesn't even
Right.
have to be quilting.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
So
Just get your creativity flowing there to look
Yep.
look at things differently.
Yeah, writers use prompts all the time for getting themselves into that kind of creative groove, right?
mhm. I have a book like that. It's got a creative prompt each day to write about. Yeah. I've only done like 12. So
To write about?
yeah, like you just
Nice.
well,
You write
it's supposed
a little blurb
to
about
a blurb. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. So we should look at the actual prompt for next month.
Oh,
There we go.
Oh,
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, you look at this, maybe you pull the shape, or I mean, you zoom in on that, and there are all kinds of different shapes, textures, whatever. Hopefully there's something there that
Mhm.
maybe sparks something that you create a design and share it with us.
even the wood
Of course,
grain on the
we'll do
floor is
it.
pretty.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, every month we'll do ours, but of course, but we're hoping that you will participate because it'd be really cool. I mean, that's always been one of my favorite things, like when you go to a quilt show and maybe everyone was given a block to quilt,
Mhm.
and to look at those and see how many ways it was quilted. Usually there are none that are alike.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing, I think, to me, anyway.
I know I always worry about that. Like when we do something like this, like, "Ah, what if there's a couple that are the same?" And every time, none of them are
Yeah,
the same.
Or it's the same element that might have been pulled out, but it's
Yeah.
designed
Different,
up
it's-
or drawn
yeah.
up in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything
Was-
else?
You need to mention where we would like to see those pictures, either, in the comment section,
Mhm.
on YouTube or,
Or they can even email them to education@gamel.com
yes,
and just put latest thread inspiration in there and we'll get them.
yep. And we love to share them in our upcoming episodes.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That
It would
would.
be fun.
Okay. Guess that's it for us this time. And we'll see you next time. And we hope to see some of your creations.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.